You have a bill that is heading to the governor after passing the House and gaining Senate approval. It would make a one-word change in the law to help police and law enforcement officers. Can you tell us about that bill, what that single word is, and how it will make a difference?
You bet. So House Bill 2057 is the number, and this is a bill that I started working on last year when some case law came down from the Washington State Supreme Court. And basically, the Supreme Court ruled correctly on this, and there's an RCW in our code that says that the officer that witnesses the misdemeanor has to be the arresting officer. So the one-word change that we're talking about is taking out the word the, and replacing it with an officer. So this allows our law enforcement officers to transfer their probable cause in these situations. And how this case law came to us was from a Seattle Police Department case where an officer was up in an elevated building watching a misdemeanor occur, and he radioed down to his partner at the ground level where this had occurred and articulated his observations, and his partner went and made the arrest. Some evidence was seized, and in the subsequent court case, that evidence was suppressed because of this one-word issue. So the Supreme Court did rule correctly, and as a result of that Supreme Court ruling, they made a recommendation that we change the law and change that one word. So I acted on that, and we're being successful, and we're really affecting police officers' ability to do their job at the street level. So I'm really very pleased with that.
The House passed a supplemental budget that was proposed by majority Democrats. You voted no, along with your House Republican colleagues. Can you tell us why?
Certainly. The budget that we are really seeking to vote yes on that will bring us to a yes is the underlying Senate version, the Majority Coalition Caucus version. And what I am pleased to report is the fact that the House version and the Senate version are actually quite close. But at this time, I just can't support the Democrat version of it simply because it raises taxes by the tune of about $100 million. It raises taxes on things that are just unacceptable to me. A few years ago, there was a bottled water tax that came out that the people of our state said, no, we do not want to pay tax on that. So that's one example of the 4 different things that they want to raise taxes on, and that's just not something that I can support. Our economy is at a very fragile state. If you look back at our state revenue report that was recently received, our revenues are essentially flat. They are gradually coming up very slowly. But that just indicates to me that we're in a very fragile environment with our revenue, and we have to be very careful that we don't overly burden our consumers and our businesses by closing tax incentives that were frankly put there for a reason. So we need to focus on that. We need to focus on strengthening our economy. By strengthening our economy and growing jobs, we will get the revenue that we need.
Do you think everything will line up to bring this 60-day session to a close on time on March 13th?
Yes, we're down to the last hours, last days of the budget negotiations. And like I mentioned a moment ago, the budget proposals are actually fairly close, not like last year when we were vastly different in our concepts of how to run the state and how to pay for our expenses. So I see this negotiation process going rather smoothly and expect to be out of here on time.